In the lead-up to Avengers: Endgame, we invited fans to take part in a mammoth survey to find out your favorite movies, characters, and moments from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So far, hundreds of Rotten Tomatoes fans took part, weighing in on their favorite Avengers, their favorite villains, their most heartbreaking Infinity War deaths, and which post-Endgame movie they're most excited to see. Because it may be this Endgame this week, but the MCU will go on. We dug deep into the data to spot some fun trends, seeing if there were divides along gender lines. Ladies love M'Baku, who'd have thunk it, and generations, our millennial, non-millennial split told us a bunch. Check out the results and major findings below, and let us know your own answers in the comments section. Captain America and Iron Man tie for favorite Avenger with 53%, while ladies love Thor. Photo by at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, at Marvel Studios. In one of our survey's most unsurprising results, the two Avengers whose relationship underpins the entire MCU came out on top when we asked who is your favorite Avenger. Some 53% of fans cast votes for Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. Thor came in a close third with 50% of respondents naming him one of their favorites. Cap was the clear overall favorite when it came to younger fans. 64% of millennials named him one of their favorites, compared with 55% for Iron Man. Female fans were slightly less into Steve, though, with 44% of female respondents saying he was a favorite, compared with 59% of males. For the ladies, it was all about the God of Thunder. Thor got the highest percentage of female votes, with 55% of female respondents designating the Asgardian one of their most beloved heroes. Spidey was surprisingly divisive, both between the sexes and among generations. While 46% of male fans called Peter Parker one of their favorite Avengers, just 29% of female fans did the same. Not surprisingly, the youngest Avenger has some serious millennial appeal, getting 44% of millennials to name him a fave, compared with 36% of non-millennials. The top 9 favorites in our survey were all characters who have had standalone MCU films. Hulk, whose standalone film did not star Mark Ruffalo, came in last amongst those. The bottom 8 have not had their own films, although one is on the way for Black Widow, ranked 10th, and Scarlet Witch, Vision, Bucky Barnes, and Falcon will all appear in limited series on Disney. Here are the full results from the question, who is your favorite Avenger? Note, people could vote for multiple characters: Iron Man 53%, Captain America 53%, Thor 50%, Spider-Man 39%, Doctor Strange 30%, Black Panther 29%, Ant-Man 29%, Captain Marvel 25%, Hulk 23%, Black Widow 18%, Hawkeye 13%, Scarlet Witch 13%, Vision 10%, Bucky Barnes 9%, Falcon 7%, Quicksilver 6%, War Machine 6%. Peter Parker's Infinity War death broke your hearts more than any other. Photo by at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, at Marvel Studios. Yes, we know he's not dead, but that didn't make the heartbreak any easier. When asked which character's Infinity War death was the saddest, some 61% of respondents ticked the box marked Peter Parker. Gamora came in second with 36% of respondents including her in their selections, and Groot came in third with 35%. Peter Quill did surprisingly poorly, with only 17% of respondents admitting they were torn up about his death. Perhaps they still haven't forgiven him for letting his emotions get the better of him. Here are the top 5 saddest Infinity War deaths, according to the fans. Note, people could vote for multiple characters: Peter Park 61%, Gamora 36%, Groot 35%, Loki 23%, Vision 21%. Groot is by far the most beloved MCU sidekick, but fans have not forgotten Peggy Carter. Photo by Peter Parker Endgame poster. Groot took out this category in a landslide, with 66% of respondents selecting him as one of their favorite supporting characters or sidekicks. Agent Coulson, Clark Gregg, came in second with 39%. Black Panther's Shuri, Letitia Wright, was not far behind with 37%, followed by Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, at 36%, and Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson, at 31%. We were happy to see folks have not forgotten Peggy Carter. Haley Atwell, 7th with 25%. There were plenty of generational splits when it came to favorite sidekicks, with Valkyrie creating one of the biggest. Millennials are all about the booze-swilling rebel, with 41% naming her one of their favorite supporting characters, but just 25% of non-millennials felt the same. Millennials similarly showed love for Korg, Taika Waititi, Bucky, and Jarvis, while non-millennials were left relatively cold by them. One of the bigger gender divides was over M'Baku, Winston Duke, with 27% of female respondents naming him a fave compared with 18% of males. Here are the top 10 favorite sidekicks, supporting characters. Note: people could vote for multiple characters. Groot 60%, Agent Coulson 39%, Shuri 37%, Nick Fury 36%, Valkyrie 31%, Bucky Barnes 26%, Peggy Carter 25%, Okoye 24%, Korg 24%, Wong 21%. Loki is your favorite villain by a mile. Sorry Thanos. Photo by at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Sure, we could get into the whole "but is he really a villain?" debate, given his trajectory in the films, but we're not going to. For a number of Phase 1 movies, Loki, Tom Hiddleston, was a villain, pure and simple. And you guys love him when he's at his most devious. The God of Mischief received the most votes for favorite villain, at 63%, followed by Thanos Josh Brolin, at 48%. Hela Kate Blanchett was number 3 at 30%. Black Panther's Eric Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan, was the highest-ranked human villain on the list, coming in at number 4, just ahead of the Winter Soldier, with 29%. But Killmonger was generationally divisive, with 41% of millennials naming him one of their favorites. He actually ranked third for millennials, above Hela, but just 21% of non-millennials doing the same. Interestingly, critic favorite Helmut Zemo, Daniel Brühl, who sowed the seeds of the Avengers' internal breakdown in Civil War, came in near the bottom of our villain list, with only 4% of fans naming him one of their favorites. In terms of major MCU villains, only Iron Man 3's Aldrich Killian, Guy Pearce, came in lower, with just 3%. Here are fans' top 10 favorite villains. Note: people could vote for multiple characters. Loki 63%, Thanos 48%, Hela 30%, Eric Killmonger 29%, The Winter Soldier 23%, The Vulture 20%, Red Skull 18%, Ronan the Accuser 16%, Ultron 17%, Ego 13%. For standalone MCU movies, set it in space and make it quippy. Photo by at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Fans' top 10 favorite standalone MCU movies contain some of the Macus's freshest offerings on the tomato meter, though the freshest movie, Black Panther, 97%, is fans' fourth favorite. Number 1 for fans is Guardians of the Galaxy, which 51% of respondents named as one of their favorites, followed by the similarly funny and space-set Thor: Ragnarok. Just one Phase 1 origin movie features in the top 10. Iron Man came in at number 3, with 40% of respondents saying it was among their faves. Only 2 franchises are represented twice in the top 10, Captain America, with The Winter Soldier and Civil War both among fans' favorites, and Guardians, with Volume 1 and 2 both in the top 10. Fans' least favorite standalone movie? No shocks here, The Incredible Hulk, which is also tied for the MCU's lowest tomato meter score with Thor: The Dark World at 67%. Incidentally, that latter film is fans' second least favorite MCU movie. Here are the fans' top 10 standalone MCU movies. Note: people could vote for multiple movies. Guardians of the Galaxy 51%, Thor: Ragnarok 42%, Iron Man 40%, Black Panther 36%, Captain America: The Winter Soldier 31%, Captain America: Civil War 30%, Spider-Man: Homecoming 28%, Ant-Man 23%, Doctor Strange 21%, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 to 21%. Baby Groot dancing is your favorite post-credits scene. Photo by at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. At Marvel Studios, Groot's cuteness reigns supreme again, with 55% of fans saying that Baby Groot and the Guardians post-credits sequence is their favorite of the after-movie stingers. His closest competition is one of the MCU's most recent, the Captain Marvel credit sequence in which Carol shows up to meet the rest of the Avengers. Here is the rest of the top 5 favorite post-credit scenes. Note, people could vote for multiple scenes. Baby Groot dances, Guardians of the Galaxy, 55%. Captain Marvel meets the Avengers, Captain Marvel, 39%. Nick Fury pages Captain Marvel, Avengers, Infinity War, 35%. Star-Lord tells Teen Groot to clean his room, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2, 28%. Nick Fury meets Tony Stark, Iron Man, 28%. Fans can't wait to see Guardians Volume 3, and other familiar properties. Photo by at Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, at Marvel Studios. Familiarity was key for fans when we asked what post-Endgame movie they were most looking forward to. 3 sequels topped the list, with one familiar character's first solo flick coming in close behind, and less familiar properties rounding out the bottom of the list. Of course, the Eternals and Shanghai are at a massive disadvantage here, given that we have not had time to fall in love with those characters. They're still being cast. Given the talent involved behind the camera on those projects, acclaimed indie director Chloe Zhao is helming the Eternals and short-term 12 filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton is directing Shanghai. We have no doubt folks will be much more excited as we get nearer to their release dates. Here are fans' top 6 most anticipated post-Endgame movies. Note, we included movies that are in production, active development, and people could vote for multiple movies. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 to 63%, Black Panther 2 to 48%, Spider-Man: Homecoming 48%, Black Widow 40%, The Eternals 14%, Shanghai 11%. Like this? Subscribe to our newsletter and get more features, news, and guides in your inbox every week. Thumbnail image courtesy Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, Marvel Studios. Let's block ads. Why?